as promised, I'm going to give you guys my tips and tricks on how to find leads for free. That reminded me of like the bedtime stories thing when he thinks he's going to get the Ferrari for free. We should actually throw up that clip because I think it's funny. So I'm going to show you guys how to potentially get in front of sellers without really spending any money on marketing. Now, with these, this isn't super scalable. This isn't going to get you 10 deals a month, but it could definitely get you your first, get you a nice little nest egg to then go invest on some of the more expensive, more consistent, more scalable ways to find deals. So hopping into my laptop here, we're going to start first with Craigslist. Now, you do have to create a free account in order to set these up. But what we can set up are what's called saved searches. So those are right in here, and you can actually see some old ones I'd set up as far back as 4 years ago. So you can create whatever search terms here you want. So for instance, I've got one here for vacant, and I've got it in the real estate market in Indianapolis. So if somebody posted a property for sale in Indianapolis and put vacant anywhere in their ad, I'm instantly getting an email. I'm hitting that person up. Hey, I saw your house. Let me come out and take a look at it. You can also see I did TLC, which is like something that needs some work. Handyman is another good one, right? Like handyman special is something people will often say if it's a property that needs some stuff done to it. Another one, I was looking for apartment complexes. You could do apartment complex, apartment building. Another good one is as is. Cash only is another one. So you can come in here, set up these saved searches where as people are posting things, you get notified instantly. So to create a saved search, all we're going to do is hop in here. We're going to go under housing, and it's real estate for sale is what we're looking for. Then search for, cash only, for instance. See, this is what comes up, and click Save Search in order to add that to our list here. You can see it added it to Pensacola, Florida, and it tells us, hey, right now there's 10 hits for this. So one thing I want to mention as you're doing this, you might find deals from other wholesalers. So this one, for instance, looks like it's likely that to me. Welcome to your new home under 100,000. Come check out your new home, private road. Actually, that one sounds pretty good. It doesn't sound to me like it's an investor. This one looks like it's a manufactured home. They're asking well under 100,000, says they're asking 88. So I would click the reply thing here and then click show phone number and call or text that guy and say, hey, I'm interested in your property. When can I come out and take a look at it? Right. Let's look for one though that looks a little bit more like it's from an investor. This one also looks good. I'm selling a single family house. If they said I'd be a little bit more pumped. This to me looks like it might be a wholesaler, but it could be worth reaching out to. The thing we really want to avoid is stuff that's like clearly another wholesaler or another investor. If they say things like, this is a contract that's available for assignment, any of that kind of language, it's probably not worth your time. Same thing if it looks like something that's been done by like a realtor. Like this has got aerial shots and stuff. Probably isn't one that you would want to do. But let me show you some like good examples of ones that you probably wouldn't touch. So, this for instance is one for rent, but very clearly, like you can see the watermark images here on the pictures, which tells us like, this isn't an individual posting something on Craigslist. This is likely something that's listed on the market somewhere else. So you can contact the for sales that show up on those saved searches and see if they're ready to go on Craigslist. The other thing that's worth looking at on Craigslist is properties that are listed under apartments and housing. And you want to look for ones that look like they're individuals. So like this one, for instance, I wouldn't do because it's watermarked. This one's watermarked, so I wouldn't do it. This one's clearly a rental company, so I wouldn't do it. Same with this, same with this. So we're really looking for something that looks like it's an individual. This one to me actually looks pretty good. These look like pictures somebody self-shot. Looks like a pretty nice property. Now, something this nice probably isn't going to sell to us at a discount, but something that looks like this, that's a lower quality property, is something that you could simply click the reply button to up here, go show email, copy, paste, send them an email. What I normally do is I'll include something like about the property that they mentioned. That way it doesn't look spammy. Hey, my name's Ryan. I saw your brick property for sale or for rent in Pensacola. I'm actually not in the market to rent, but I'm curious if you'd be interested in selling the property. I've found several deals from doing that, just simply reaching out to for rents and seeing if they'd consider selling. In the subject is where I'll put something about the property. So I might do like brick house with a blue porch, something where they're like, oh, okay, this is clearly a person and not like a bot or a scam or something of that nature. And all we say is, if you're interested in selling, can I come out and look at it and, make you an offer, right? So that's how we would do it with Craigslist. The next place we can go to is Facebook Marketplace. So if you're signed into Facebook, you're going to click on Marketplace over here, and you can start to look for things that are in your market. So you've got different categories down here, which you'd likely want to go to property rentals or home sales, and you can do the exact same thing. So we hop in here and look for, something that looks like it's listed by an owner. Like this probably isn't right, but this one, here's a good example of one I wouldn't even reach out to. Wholesale opportunity. So it's clearly somebody that's wholesaling a house. It's not the owner, but something like, say, this guy is one that I might read through the description here and see if it's something I want to reach out to. This one I wouldn't, simply because it says it's, Key Impressions LLC. That sounds like an investor or a flipper or a realtor or something. One thing I will recommend is change your message here if you're going to do these. Hi, is this still available is annoying. People hate responding to it. So something more detailed, like reaching out to you about the, tan house with a, cute porch or whatever, right? If it has like a phone number or text in there or email, like just grab that. Don't go through Facebook, because a lot of the times these people get drowned in messages that are like, is this still available? Is this still available? Is this still available? So we want to kind of cut through that noise. This one's a good example because it says, cash only deal, implies they might be willing to sell it for less. Same thing if they say like, I inherited the house, TLC, whatever. I'm literally closing out a deal right now. One of my employees found 5 condos on Facebook Marketplace. We bought all 4, flipped all 4. We're making over $125,000 in profit with $0 in marketing costs. That employee, we also gave a percentage of that deal. So she's making $12,500 just for finding it. So she works for us. So she didn't reverse wholesale it to us, but she did bring us the opportunity. We went out, ran it, and we paid her a commission for doing so. So you can do the same thing on here. You can do for rent instead of for sale. Reach out and say, hey, would you be more interested in selling? We're going to take kind of that same strategy now over to Zillow. So you would punch in your market. I live in Pensacola, so that's what we're looking at right here. And I could look at for sale or for rent. If you're going for sale, my initial recommendation, actually my only recommendation, is just do by owner. Because we don't care if it's listed with a realtor or whatever. Notice it shows 0. We've got to click on this other listings because it's one's not listed by an agent. Probably not going to hit up the guy on the $1.9 million property, but the person on this $98,000 house or $104,000 one could be worth reaching out to. On Zillow, it's typically, you don't want to hit this contact agent button. You want to scroll down here and look for property owner. It'll say listed by property owner or listed by property manager or a realtor. You're looking for the ones that just say owner, calling them and saying, hey, I'm interested in potentially purchasing this property. When can I come out and look at it? One thing I do want to be blunt with for sale by owners, they'll often let you come out all day long to look at it and make them offers. But quite often, the reason it's a for sale by owner, they're trying to sell it for more than what it's worth, and they don't want to pay a realtor, so they're greedy twice. So a lot of the times those don't pan out, but it's totally worth playing with. Same thing we talked about on Craigslist and Facebook. You can also go in here under the for rents, And we're going to look for the ones that look like they're listed by an individual. So like this one, for instance, I wouldn't do because it literally says property management up top. You're also going to want to go to home type and make sure you probably just have houses checked. So we can kind of go through these, look for one that looks like it's an individual and see if they're potentially interested in selling. We can tell if it's an individual or not based on who it's listed by. This looks like an individual. It says it's listed by property owner, so that looks pretty good. It doesn't look like they have a phone number listed here, so you'd have to click the ask a question button, reach out and say, hey, property looks good. I'm curious if you'd be interested in selling it instead of renting it out, right? Now, I trust you guys, so I'm going to give you a little bonus here. It could be a lot of work to go through these, click through, pull out the for sale by owners, the for rents, get their names, get their phone numbers, like a lot of back and forth. I had a tool built that will do this for you guys. So all you would do is come through in here and pick out whether for sale, for rent, basically get it where it matches what you're looking for. So let's go for sale by owners, for instance. So for sale, and we do just by owners. And I'm probably going to want to put a price cap in here of like nothing over, 250,000. Takes me from 73 down to 38. You can simply copy this from your web browser, hop over to this link I'll give you. You're going to have to enter the username and password, which do not share. It's just for you guys. And you can click in here for sale by owner from the drop down and paste the URL and click process and download. It'll go through. It's going to take you like probably a couple minutes. You have to leave this open. You can't refresh it. A list of like 500-700 of these is going to take anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes. You've got to leave it up and running, and it will just give you an Excel file with the person's name, the address, city, state, zip, some other details, and the contact info that they provided. Now, I have this set up right now as I'm shooting this where it's totally an honor system. If you're doing 1 to 500 records, you need to go through, click up to 500 records, and PayPal or Venmo me for this. I get charged for every search that you run. So far, we've had no issues with people abusing this. There's several people that have access to this. If it starts to be a situation where I'm getting charged for searches and people aren't paying us, we'll just close this link down. So if you're watching this video and this link no longer works, somebody ruined it for you. We would have to go through and build out a whole create an account, pay before you can process your list. I don't want to have to do that. Or I don't want to have to just shut access to this off. So don't be an a-hole. If you're going to use it, pay for your usage. I'm not marking it up. I'm not making a profit on this. This is something I built for my clients that because you're one of my clients, I'm willing to share with you. Now, if you're doing up to 1,000 records, it's $20. So you're talking $10 to $20 to get 500 to 1,000 records. Super reasonable. If you don't want to pay me, you don't want to use it, that's totally cool. You can come through here and do it yourself manually. But that is how to potentially get your first or next deal for free.